Hello and welcome. My name is OSCA and we run an ironing service in Melbourne, Australia. Although, as my son has been reminding me, I should be saying professional ironing service. So, hello and welcome. My name is OSCA and we run a professional ironing service in Melbourne, Australia. Today you are here to have a look at a video on how to iron a pair of chinos. If you iron for love, the method you will see applies to pretty much all of the pants you can find in your wardrobe, except jeans. Jeans are a lot easier and we'll do a video on those at some other point. If you are ironing for a living or you're thinking of ironing for a living and I have sent you here to have a look at this video, consider this a leg up, because chinos are part of our skill test, which forms part of the interview process. Either way, my advice to you is pay more attention to what Eve's left hand is doing, not the one that's pushing the iron around. You must have the skill to do that, but the magic really happens in what you do with the other hand, which guides where your iron goes. So, without any further ado, let me introduce the love of my life, my partner of 40 years, and the most amazing ironer you have ever seen, Eve.
Hello and welcome. Let's see what's in our magic basket today. Looks like I'll be showing you a pair of chinos. So, as with everything else, first things first, a little bit of water. The water enables the fibers to loosen and to soften and helps us to get that perfect, just pressed finish to whatever we are ironing. While I'm pre-dampening, I also had a quick look as to what is happening and what needs to be paid attention to, such as my coin pocket has gone for a wander. So here it is, let's pull that out. Let's have a look onto the inside of the fly if there's anything here that we need to push down. Ironing is not just about things looking beautiful on the outside, it's also about being comfortable on the inside. So we're actually going to start with our pockets first, and let's get that coin pocket onto the table. Pulling it out through there, flattening it down, then moving onto the front pockets one at a time. As I'm pushing down, I'm stretching away and I'm using that steam through technique so that I can come all the way up there. We'll go over to the next pocket on the front, the other side, and we'll repeat the same process there. Now the next is not necessarily the back pockets. We'll take those as we are coming around the front, the top of the pants. Right now we can slide the pants on and we can go quite high so that we can get past the crotch and onto the thigh area and be able to iron past where the pockets are, so that when we're doing the legs later on, we've already done this part and we're not going to be risking any shine or imprint. And to that end, I'm pushing the pockets out of the way, sliding my hand under, twisting it so that the pockets are right out of my way. Right here, I can take the inside of the fly, and this is a good place too to test whether or not you're going to get any shine off the fabric as well. So if you have a darker fabric, this will let you know as to what's going on and what you need to do there. We'll be covering those types of things in the later videos. In the meanwhile, we're working on the very basics and placement and process. So you've seen me coming up through, you've seen a steam through technique. I'm going to slide the pants off a little bit so that I can get a little bit closer up here. Again, my pocket is still out of the way, but I'm going to be careful not to be using my tip down so that I'm not making an imprint. I'm going to use a twist and turn technique so that I'm flattening it out right there. Keep on sliding the pants off the table, and now we're going to drag them back up and place them so that our stitch is as close to the edge of the ironing board as possible. Right here I have a flat spot where I can easily glide into the pocket, and I can also at this point, again riding the tip just like we did in an earlier video on our t-shirt, along the edge there. All of this time I have not sat down, so I'm not making shine or an imprint, even though these is a wide pair of pants, so it's highly unlikely that I will. Right here we're going to use that same steam through technique that we did in the first video of the t-shirt, or the polo, sorry. We can come across here to flatten it out. And now we've done the front of the pants, we're moving on to the back. Again, we're going to pull the pocket out, and it's in my hand right now, so I can straighten it out as it needs. Leave it there, it's already out of our way. I have the edge of the pants, the seam of the pants directly onto my ironing board. And again, I'm working my side of the iron up towards the pocket rather than going in with the tip. Sliding it off, moving it up in a little zigzag motion so that I get the rest of the leg here. Coming up, and again I'm steaming through rather than pushing or placing the iron directly onto the ironing board through the fabric. Again, here my waistband is raveled up. I can straighten that out with my fingers, and by using this drag on technique I can straighten that waistband up perfectly. I don't want to go up too high. Again, I want to keep my stitches as close to the edge of the ironing board as possible so that I can ride the tip along the stitches and flatten them at the opening of the back pocket. And while I'm here for presentation, I can do up that back pocket already. A bit of a steam through to make sure everything's nice and neat. Again, off the table, onto the table, pocket, with my edge rather than this way, ironing out the bottom part of the leg or the thigh and the back, and coming up with the edge of the iron close to the pocket as I can, dragging it off, letting the whole pant come off the table and slowly dragging it back onto where we need to iron, which is the little parts that we haven't as yet. Again, using the edge and the tip of my iron, I can ride just along that edge there, and if I very gently just steam through as I'm coming through, I can get a nice flat looking finish right there. Again, I'm at the pocket, so let's see if we can get this nice and flat, and you can see how my iron is cutting and slicing right underneath that stitch there in the pocket. Pulling it up, let's get the front pocket out of the way. Again, my hand comes under and pulls the pocket right underneath. My left hand is checking and easing the fabric rather than pulling. Ease the fabric back. Now we can slide off again, drag back on. Again, we're only looking at a small section of the pant. Here I am using the edge to one side. I can also come around from this angle, depending on what's comfortable to you. And over here, if we straighten the pant up nice, we can do the same technique over the top of the fly so we don't even get an imprint or a shine as we're going. Next part is for us to place the leg onto the table. I like to start with my finger just here at the at the pocket on the side, and hold the stitch at the end at the bottom of the leg. And just as we do with that drag technique, edging and just flattening that part first, we will now be able to tickle out the fabric and slowly and easily move everything into place. So again, I'm coming towards me, my fingers are tickling out as I'm brushing down the fabric towards me and stretching down towards me. Now I can use the brush down technique as I'm brushing the fabric down towards me. Drag the pant leg along so that the underneath of the fabric stays nice and flat and actually unravels. And again, here I'm lifting up with my hand underneath so that I can feel whatever fabric is loose, and I can straighten it out. As here, pulling the underneath and then the top. And as I'm going in, I'm just steaming through and over, and over that stitch. Never mind, we'll just get that leg back on the table. And over that stitch. To turn around, pick up your seam exactly as you had to begin with. Lift up the leg a little so that you're using that gravity to drop down the pant top or the hip area and the waistband, and drag onto the board. We're going to start in exactly the same place. This time I'm brushing away from where we were. You can see the pocket is over there, so I'm not going to be going over it. And again, brushing away to make sure that I have a nice flat and straight stitch. Dragging through, you'll be able to see that all of the fabric underneath has been straightened up. And here I'm just going to do that same steam through technique to get a nice wedge onto the bottom. If I need to, I can come through to give this a little bit more of a steam over if it needs it. And then we go to the other side or to the other leg. Again, my finger is hooked in the pocket. I'm finding my seam and making sure that it's aligned in the same direction. Dragging on, brushing away. And again, I'm starting by edging along the seam. With most pants, you will have the seams facing to the front of the leg, as that is the smaller part of our human body, rather than the back part. Into the crotch and along a nice straight stretched seam. Again, gliding across to the other side, dragging it on, finishing off, and this time again coming away, brushing away from where we were, steaming through as we need, lifting up, tickling out as we need so that there is no excess fabric getting ironed in on the underneath that we don't want to have. Just a quick look around. Now here, if we're going to be hanging or folding, we're going to just over direct the fly a little bit for final presentation. Fold them in towards each other. Find those seams that you had at the beginning. Let things drop. Lay them back onto the table. And again, that little tickle out technique, sliding like this with your fingers, will flatten them out and get them ready for either hanging or folding. And that's how you iron a pair of chinos. Thanks for watching, and may the steam be with you.